Let's party.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Railroader Academy. As always, I'm your host, Professor Casey. Welcome back to the Virtual Railroader Academy. I accidentally had my stream going. Professor Nick is around here somewhere.
Yes, he is. He wasn't sure if Professor Nick or our guest was going to introduce himself. But yes, I am Professor Nick. And welcome.
Sorry, continue.
Welcome to Railroaders Play Railroader at the Virtual Railroad Academy.
And we have a special guest with us tonight for a very special thematic stream. You've heard him here on the channel a couple of times in the past, but we have guest professor Chris with us tonight. Hi, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
And we're doing the biggest shitpost we've ever done on the VRA, while also talking about a kind of really important topic. Tonight's all about, we're calling it Eyes of the Train Crew 212, and it's all about what you don't get from a train game that you do get from real life. So we're going to be talking a bunch about that tonight, and we're doing it through the lens of the Valley Railroad's Christmas trains, cause it's a kind of thematic. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. And I'm sure that shivers down the spines of a couple people in this call.
Yes, it is forever the night before Christmas.
This is an incredibly busy timetable, so we're going to have a lot to talk about as we're going. Can't listen to that bell the whole time. And there's already one thing. I'm in the yard. I'm supposed to be ringing a bell. I cannot listen to that bell right now. This is a video game. I don't want to listen to it. There's no reason for me to ring it. So I'm already turning that off. We're off to a great start. Chris and I are running North Pole Express Train 1, pulled by Valley, you can't see the number, Valley 40. We're departing at 6:05 in-game. We have a train that arrives at 6:05 in-game. So, yeah. It's going to be a busy night. There are two other trains that we're going to have meets with. We have 6 total meets tonight. So we're it's going to be a busy night, lots of trains, lots to talk about. Right now I'm running around the train. We'll tie on and we'll figure out what our con has for us. Chris is our conductor on train 1 tonight.
And as always, we encourage you to chime in with your questions, thoughts, and considerations, and we will respond to them as best we can.
So one thing that, when we were setting this up, Casey and I were discussing this, the way the timetable works out, we're assuming that we are here at our home station here. For tonight, it's Dillsboro. Our train is scheduled to be here for about 30 minutes before it's the next departure. Speaking on behalf of train crew, it does not feel like 30 minutes whatsoever. You are completely deboarding the fully sold out trains, doing a quick cleaning sweep, making sure everything is okay for the next run, and then almost immediately going into a boarding procedure to get another full train load of people all situated on board, making sure everyone is here in time for the inbound train.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually sparing you for 15 of those 30 minutes.
Right, so at this point, we probably have already gotten everyone off, and the conductor has probably called for either a pre-boarding announcement to try to get everyone out onto the platform, or at this point has started the actual boarding procedure.
Mm-hmm. Which in a video game, you have absolutely nothing to do right now.
No, I don't.
You're just sitting around hanging out.
I'm standing here watching you back down onto the train.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole... The waiting feels longer in a video game, which we'll be seeing later on. This 30, and this is something Chris and I were talking about. He didn't realize it was 30 minutes, and I had to look at the timetable to make sure I was right on my math for that. Cause it feels so much shorter than 30 minutes. Cause you get in, you bleed down the brakes, you run around, you have to stop, you have to throw a couple of switches, You have to do an air test. You have to get water going into the tender. Speaking of which, this is too accurate. I have half a tender of water left on the 3rd drip of the night.
Well,
It's so, like, you're constantly running around. Like, now, it's 10 minutes before departure. I'd have gone to the bathroom, gone to get dinner, talked to the conductor, and at this point I'd be coming around and I'd be hitting my oil points, checking my temps, sitting up in the seat eating dinner for the first time, because what better time on an engine, and the people who run know this, than while you're waiting on a meet. That's the best time to eat because you're not doing anything. You're sitting there with your feet up. This is the chance. It's almost 6 o'clock. You got to stuff your face with food. And now we've got 10 minutes until train 2 comes in.
train crew-wise, I don't have any of that time.
Well, yeah. Engine crew-wise, this is our time. You guys are busy with the people, and we don't have the people element in the game. Even when you're running passenger trains normally, I mean, you don't have the people element. You don't have to deal with. I mean, we've all seen the speed people get on and off the Carson Railroader. It's very gamified. That's really nice.
But there's no human element to it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, at this point, a mixture between the conductor and a personnel member that we have called the yardmaster would be calling out and checking to make sure if we have people that are running from the parking lot, if everyone's got everyone boarded, is everything okay? Are there any PR issues or passenger we're waiting on a family or someone's coming or they're not coming, trying to keep everything in order. It's nice when everybody's on board and we're just sitting here waiting, but 9 times out of 10 that's not happening.
No. 9 times out of 10 we're running around like crazy. I can't tell you the number of times I'm looking at the time and I'm like, do I have time to do this? And do I not? And looking at the watch and playing the game of like playing chicken with the oncoming train to make sure I can get as much water as possible. Because of just how tight the schedule is.
Speaking of which, we just forgot another thing we got to do. Break, engine 40. Can I have a brake application?
Here you go.
Received and released.
That recharges so fast too.
Yeah, that was instantaneous. That would probably take another 5 seconds.
Yeah, there is no waiting for your air to pump up.
Which is really nice in a video game.
Yes,
if I had to sit here and charge a train like real time, I'd die.
The fact that I probably shouldn't have done that, but I just ran from the back of the train while holding the shift button, and I just ran up 7 cars. That doesn't happen.
I've had time to have a nap while charging a train line.
And there is something else that I need to do. Engine 40, 30, 25.
30 to 25, responding to 40.
Hey, 3025, we're in the clear on the platform at not Essex Station. Switches line for your arrival on the main.
Copy that, 40. Hear that you're in the clear, and switches are lined for us on the siding. Appreciate that. 40 out.
And yeah,
Conductor 2 acknowledges. Conductor 2 out.
That's another thing we do is we don't have a dispatcher, so we're calling each other because we're timetabled. All of our meets are scheduled on our timetable, so we're calling each other when we know that train is about to approach and letting them know like, hey, come home, we're in the clear, we're out of your way. They per our specific rulebook, they can't enter the yard without that call. And on a timetable where you have 5 minutes of wiggle room, there's, or not 5 minutes, 5 seconds of wiggle room. You can't not do that. That can completely stab the other train. Whereas in a video game, and okay, cool, like, they could run faster. But, like, you can't. Your train master's out there with a radar gun watching for you, making sure you don't speed. God, on the diesels now, there's the class 1 stuff. How much is there to prevent you from speeding?
10,000 emails. Conductor number 2, we're looking back there. Prince.
Con 3. You've got 6 cars that will stop. 6.
Okay, 6 to go.
And that's the other fun thing about all of this is there's always 2 trains moving, sometimes 3 moving at once. Sometimes 3 moving at once. We will have brief moments of 3 moving because people are doing yard moves.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 cars now, 97.
Okay, 3 to go.
All right. At this point, basically as the conductor, I'd be telling everyone on my crew, shut the gates and traps and get ready for departure if you're ready or not.
I still got 5 minutes for departure on my clock. So 3025 is
Conductor
going to need
2.
Yeah, I'm not going to step on them. They have a conductor that knows what he's doing.
Conductor 2, 3025. Let's drag it through the yard. We got to buy about 3 minutes for a departure. Drag it through on the siding.
Engineer, conductor, acknowledge. We will drag it through the siding.
Roger, break. Dillsboro base. NPE2 is 3 minutes out. 3 minutes. Even though we're already here.
And that's another thing. It's some of this stuff isn't going to translate fully. Some of it does. There's been at least one train that I've been on where we came in 3 minutes early.
On number 3, how we doing?
Con 397. You're good there. In position.
Okay, coming to a stop on the 9-7.
All right.
Set in center for
train
your
one-
protection.
Train 1 crew. Lanterns out. All aboard.
'97. Once the marker's clear, you can do your run around.
Understood.
Conductor 2 to 40. We don't have a jack signal, but when you have the jack, you can go.
Are you throwing the switch for me?
Yeah, sure.
I still got 3 minutes on my clock.
So this would be the point where the yardmaster is yelling at train 2 to go across the street.
So yeah, what Nick will have to do is pull past the switch and then shove back in, which we'll see that aspect of later. Staying on time is a lot harder than people think it is, because it's not. You're trying not to be late, but you're also trying really hard not to be early.
Especially when you're running 4 trains on a single track line. Everything has to be on timetable, otherwise you're stabbing another train.
So what is the problem that I have caused by arriving early in your parlance?
We can't depart yet because we don't have the time in the timetable. Per timetable rules, and this is a NORAC thing, this is a G-Core thing, you cannot depart early unless authorized by a special instruction. You've also arrived early, so by arriving early, since at the end of a schedule, if that is your arrival time, so that means no one is expecting you until that time, which means no one needs to clear until 3 to 5 minutes before that time. Also, you're going to need to pull your whole train past the switch and shove it back into the station.
All right.
So we just sit here and wait now. For
Well, you got
another 30 seconds.
The other
ZBK
thing-
Studios wants to see the timetable, and we're actually using a modified version of the official company timetable, which is I'm not sharing the official company timetable, but it's kind of confidential to the employees. Thankfully, there's 4 of us here tonight, so who know what we're doing, who actually run these trains. Shout out to my conductors on Train 2 and Train 3. So I can't share it, but what I can say is it's 15 minutes between every station.
We're gonna call that an on-time departure. Make your
On time.
arrival. Make your arrival at 20. Nick, to go back to your other point, if we were doing this in 1-to-1 scale realism, your train would be long enough that if you were just sitting in the yard like you were doing, you would physically be blocking us from leaving.
Ah. Good thing I got out of your way then.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have a 15-minute run from here to there. Which is
Dr.
about
3, I'm just
20
gonna go
miles
ahead
an
and tie on. I got eyes on the joint.
We have a passenger.
Roger.
3025, half car. 2-0. Clear of it.
Now, one thing that's not simulated in any video game I've ever played, unless someone can remind me otherwise, but spring switches. And we utilize the crap out of those for our operations. And with spring switches, you're limited to 5 miles an hour over the switch as springing through it. So right now, I'm actually going too fast. See if I can pinch that down a little.
Permission to go between 97.
All stops, that's 197, do your thing.
3025, lined up the main. Take it north, clear. 10 cars to your mark.
Copy.
To our
Good.
passenger on board, I would have actually punched your ticket before you entered the train car.
Am I off that switch, Chris?
You're on it now.
Sweet. And now I can accelerate back up to 20. Or up to 20.
You're clear.
Con 397.
Go ahead.
Set him up, class 2, whenever you're ready.
Okay, set him up.
That's the other thing. The radio, the way we work with our radio,
Easy, release, please.
we can hear
Releasing.
almost everything on the line.
Con
Yeah.
397, good brakes.
Good brakes. 97.
97, you have pre-authorization. Once the train number 1 clears, take us back home.
Okay, understood.
On to 3025. Train 1's fully departed. You are now fully clear to your mark. And do you have a mark for this?
Just park it in the station.
What he said.
Copy.
Alright, so when operating the trains, not a lot of video games I've played where you really get the feel of running the real stuff. The throttle in a lot of things is like a percentage. It's just a slider, 0 to 100 for power. So it's a lot of games have very simple operational stuff like that. So like you could see, like I'm only running like 9% of my throttle, but if I was doing this real, I'd be somewhere out here. And now I'm trying to just maintain a 4-minute mile, which a 4-minute mile, 3-minute mile. I'm gonna vary between mile posts, just because that's the way I end up running. I tend not to keep a super consistent speed, but that's a me thing. And I let my physical characteristics help me out. So I'll have a 20-mile-an-hour mile, and then I'll have a 15-mile-an-hour mile, as I let like the hill eat up some of my speed, so I don't need it. So that way, as like I'm tipping over the top of the grade, I don't need to grab brakes as soon. I can save my brakes a little bit. So those are the type of things I'm thinking about when running. And you kind of just... I've yet to play a video game where you really get that. Maybe derail Valley
Yeah.
a little bit, but like, kind of. You lose a lot of that seat feel, which is just something I don't think a video game can ever really get for you.
No. No, and I mean, like, knowing your territory over which you operate does not carry the same weight in a game as it does in reality. Because it's like you said, like, you can't use the terrain to help you, regardless of what the circumstance is.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so... Well, crap. Chris, I just did a perfect 5-minute mile to the first milepost.
And this
That's
is
one
where
of
the
the-
shitpost gets too real, folks.
And that's a good thing to talk about. This doesn't feel like 20 if I'm looking around with my camera. Fine, 19. Doesn't feel like 19. When you're actually going along, the trees are moving by much quicker, and as I'm sure some of the other Valley folks in here can attest, looking out of the car windows doing 20 in Railroader versus when you're riding our trains feels a lot different. Well, technically this is the top of the grade. And let's just see what this does.
Spinner Tornado asks how the chugging and chewing is going, and where we are exactly.
We're coming through Cowie right now up to mile 50. Barker's is our pseudo North Pole for the evening, so that's where we're headed. And I have 10 minutes to get there. And this is the challenging part of don't arrive early.
So another
Plus,
thing
if I
that
do 12, 13, 14, 15...
I alluded to this earlier, but in the video game, without holding the run button down, I just walked to the back of our train within seconds. Partially that could be because the game's walking speed is not the walking speed of a human, but the train is moving perfectly, like we're riding on pristine track and pristine trucks. The cars are not bouncing around. There's not guests that are on board that you are either interacting with or helping move around as they're jostling to get into their seat. In the sense of our Christmas trains, we have actors aboard that are part of the Christmas show that you have to not interfere with their show. So the fact that I walked back to the end of our train before Casey got a mile out is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time where Casey and I were working in real life. I didn't get back to... I walked the length of our train. I got back to my position at the rear of the train probably 5 minutes from our final station stop.
And this is where I'm with the controls. If anyone's noticed, I've been cycling the brakes because it's so hard to get a good set in a game that's gonna like pinch you the right amount that you can get with actual air. Okay, and now I want to be just about there at 16, so I need to do... It's going to be more like a 4-minute mile to 51, so I want to keep it around that 15 mile an hour mark. In the chat, Ninja Cat says he's waiting for hot chocolate in car 1, Chris.
Unfortunately, that will not happen until we pick up our special guest at the North Pole.
Well, that would not be your specific responsibility. That would be your
It would be other staff.
entertainments. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it would be the other staff members.
It is the conductor's responsibility to make sure the engine crew gets hot chocolate.
Yes.
3025 is coupled in the airs, and we good for set and release.
Copy. They're good for set and release.
3025, I see an application. You may release. 3025, brakes release. We have a successful Class 3 brake test.
Conductor 2, Roger. Good brake test.
Thank you guys, Engineer 3025 out.
Alright. And now this is on me not knowing the territory that well. Shocker. Been playing this game long enough, you think I would, and I think I slowed myself down too much. Oh no, wait, no, I may have done perfect. Oh man. And this is the other, like, video games, it's kind of really hard to fuck up. In the ways that we would think of. I'm right on the money. Well, it's hard because you have so much more leeway in a video game than you do in reality. I'm actually a little impressed I didn't get this more wrong. Because in testing, just ran one train with this in testing to see how well it worked out and got it wrong. But there's just so much more leeway in a video game that you don't get in real life. Which is not a bad thing. Video games should be fun. North Pole, NP1, Valley 40, 3 minutes out, 3 minutes.
North Pole copy.
That's just me calling ahead to my meet. Like, hey, this is a little bit of show stuff. You're calling ahead to let the train that's there waiting for you know, like, hey, I'm 3 minutes away from you. But you're also letting the show know that you're 3 minutes away, so that way they can be ready for you. And I have to be... My nose needs to be there at 20. So I've got exactly 3 minutes to get there, and about half a mile. So if I let this ride like this, that should take us right in. And if I get this right, this is a testament to how many times I've done this season. This past Christmas season. It's no longer this Christmas season. Congratulations, everyone. Christmas season's over. We made it through Christmas trains. It'll be a testament to how many times I did it this past Christmas season. And the however many years of playtesting and playing Railroader on stream for all of y'all.
Spinner Tornado writes, the grade eastbound up to the tunnel has been hitting me hard lately. We pressed in a new unit train where both the Robinson Gap Coal and Iron Mine Industry mod cars are taken together, loaded into interchange, and a single Santa Fe can't do it. We plan on getting that new Decapod mod into action, but we don't know how much that will make a difference yet.
Oh, the John Allen Decapod. I added that to our main save. Looking forward to checking that out soon.
And Ninja is now waiting for a hot chocolate in the cab of 40.
4097. Con 3.
Go ahead, over.
Con 3.
Yeah, my clear here into the pole.
Yeah, you're lined in. 40 okay to come on into the hole here at the pole.
TC, what's the switches look like?
Line for the side.
Roger, line left.
Now more people in the chat are asking for hot chocolate, Chris. Car 8 or car 7.
On 397. Once the last car on the marker's clear, bring us back home to the Dillsboro station. Make your arrival 6:34 to the south switch.
Okay, 634 to the south and the last marker clears. Understood.
We will worry about hot chocolate later. Right now, we need to worry about getting in to our position on time as we pass by our other train.
And east switch line for us.
You switch line 6.
Doctor 97 head in.
It's Conductor 3, go ahead, 97.
You all set back there?
Yeah, we're all set. Conductor 3 on board.
Okay, we go.
Break, 40. 3 cars. Two cars. 1 car, 1. Half of it. $20 feet. 10, 5, 4, 3. Give
Please
us
don't make me go 3 feet.
How real do you want this?
Please do not make me go 3 feet.
Okay, we're good. We're here.
And this is the showy part. We gotta stop, pick up the big guy.
Yeah, we pick up the big guy. The big guy gets on board, along with all of his helpers, who are we elves.
Where are we from? The North Pole.
Yeah, too real. All right, I don't have a backup valve here, but engine 40, you are clear to back it up. You are good for 4 cars.
4. I can see your player character in the last cars around the curve.
On 397, south switch line 6.
South switch line 6, understood.
Let's see it. Yeah, I was trying to make a nice smooth stop there, but like, yeah, like you don't get it with the bridge. You don't have that tactileness of being able to take like a little nibble of a set on a short train and drag it out.
2 cars, 42.
Oh well, that's not where I wanted to leave that camera.
1 more car. Half of it.
God, it's only a 4-pound set, a 6-pound set, and it stops you dead.
Yeah, we'd be rolling for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
20 feet. 10 feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Roger, 40 in position.
All right, and I'll be my own good noodle and reset that switch for 1 for the incoming meet.
Okay.
And I'm in the hole, so my headlight to dim. And now we sit here, chat. We are hanging out here until 6:35.
Yep, another one of those. This is 30 minutes sitting here.
15.
15 minutes, excuse me. This one you actually feel like you have less. This one, again, you feel like you have 5 minutes because there is stuff going on inside the car that I cannot talk about, but at the same time, it is just know it is a timed production and that we have to be ready and not try to stab the train that is currently backing down at us, which we should hear from hopefully within the
Yes,
next couple of minutes.
They're up here. At 30 minutes to go, they should be here at at 30. At 30, they should be at mile 52. And then show-wise, we use 5 minutes to go this extra half mile for show purposes, to make sure that you got the big guy is finished with all the people, or you have time to stick him into hiding and stuff like that. So that's why we use that time for. That's little behind-the-scenes timing tips.
To our folks asking for hot chocolate, if you are north of the train, if you are on the north side of the train, you'd getting hot chocolate. Now, if you're in car 8, you're not getting hot chocolate until we leave. And also another question I'm seeing, what whistle is most accurate to 40? That is the one 40's currently whistling, and that is a Crosby 3.
So if you have a Green Ninja's Better Whistle pack, the Crosby 3 chime in there is 40's whistle. And if you got the WNCR bell mod, you can have a 40's bell. Went ahead and helped those guys out and got a recording of 30, 25, 40, and 97 in there. And when putting together the whistle pack with the Green Ninja, we made sure we had 40's Crosby 3. We have the Big Stupids Frisco 3 in here. I hate how the list scrolls out like that. What else do we have?
Haven 6.
Yep, we have the New Haven 6 off of 97, which I know we meme the New Haven here in this channel, but it's actually a really pretty whistle. And in the biggest plot twist of all time, and shout out and thank you to my friend Jersey out there on the internet if you're watching for identifying this. 3025's whistle is an SP6, and that's also here in the game as well, as a mod. Everyone used to think it was a Nathan 6, but Jersey heard it, thought it didn't sound like a Nathan, did a bunch of research, looked at pictures, measurements, and all that, and discovered that it's actually an SP6 chime. Though not this season. This Christmas we had the worst sounding B&M 6, but the best sounding Redding 6 on the engine. I had too much fun with that.
Irish Boy D asks, hello everyone, new here with only 78 hours in game. I'm still learning things about a railroad, but I've always been fascinated with them. I'm actually an aircraft engineer in real life. What would be a realistic engine for a passenger service? I run vanilla game.
Kind of whatever you want. That's the beauty of the short line stuff, of especially early game. You can kind of get away with anything. Also, welcome and glad to have you here hanging out with us tonight. It's gonna sound like a meme. Early game, I love the G25 Mogul for my passenger stuff. I think it's a wonderful little engine, and you can do little mixed freight stuff if that's your vibe. Otherwise, the Atlantic or any of the 460s, totally cool early game.
A good 10-wheeler is always a nice bet too.
Yeah.
902, 240.
Hello, 0902.
0902, about 5 minutes out from North Pole.
Alright, thanks, O2. We got a switch line for you to back in on the main.
Thank you, 40.
My suggestion, later game, I personally love the Pacific on the passengers, the big one.
Yeah.
But it's personal preference. I mean, you could run whatever you want. It's your railroad. You can do whatever you want.
Your railroad, your way. And tonight we're cosplaying the Valley Railroad in uncomfortable accuracy. When putting this together, we figured out that Dillsboro to Barker's is the same distance as Essex to
North Pole.
I was gonna call it North Pole, but it's actually called Deep River. And Barker's to mile 54 is the same distance as North Pole to mile 10, where we turn around. So you're whatever your railroad is tonight. We're the Valley Railroad in uncomfortable accuracy. At this point, God, this meet always feels like it's so much faster in real life.
And
There have been times when we've been up here waiting for the clauses to get on, and I've seen the tail light of the incoming train come around the corner, right up at the milepost. Where is that milepost? Are you right by it?
He's
Wherever the
past it.
milepost is. So you can see that when you're sitting out on our tangent in front of Deep River. And you see that and you're like, holy crap. But you look at your time and you're like, I have 8 minutes still. So there's always that little bit of panic, but also knowing like the time is protecting you. Which, you know, not something you get in games, because it's like, oh god, and then you can shove back. Like, there's nothing you're doing that gives you a reason to be stopped like that, or what. There's nothing you're doing in a game that gives you that same level of panic, time-wise.
Conductor 1 to non-existent conductor 4, you are clear to come all the way into your station stop.
Non-existent conductor 4 responding. Thank you.
And conductor 1 to engine 40, once they are clear and our invisible trainman is on board, you're able to go north.
Copy that. Can go north once they're clear and invisible trainman's on board.
302597 over.
3025 answering 97. Over.
3025, were you guys all tucked away in the hole at Dillsboro?
That is correct, 97. We're tucked in. Switch is lined for you on the main. Over.
Okay, we're lined right by you. Yeah, we'll be on you in probably about 3 or so minutes, so we'll see you shortly. 97 out.
Sounds good. 3025 out.
Con 3, Rogers.
And this is another case of getting in too early. It's 31 and we can't leave until 35. Running to a timetable is harder than, especially if you've never done it before. It is so much harder than you think it is.
It's also very easy to be early in video games compared to
It
real
is
life.
very easy to be early in a video game compared to real life. And that's part of the kind of extreme challenge of tonight, is just how easy it is. You don't have that rolling resistance of like, all right, if you notch the throttle back, if I close the throttle in the 80 tonner a little bit, you lose that speed. In a video game, you don't just start slowing down. You just keep rolling.
Break,
at
break.
the same speed.
Conductor 3 to Dillsboro Base. NPE number 3 is 2 minutes out. 2 minutes.
The worst part is,
I love
you
it.
hear all of this in the cab of the engines, because you're only 4 miles away from each other at like any given time.
Right, so I'm on a portable in real life, and I may hear the locomotive, but I will not hear the other portables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I know what portables you guys use, but we have our range is about 2 miles per hour.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Conductor 2, training platform crew, closing your traps, doors, gates. We're going in 2 minutes. Break, break. Conductor 2, 3025, you're pre-authorized to take it north at 835, 835.
Engineer 3025 to conductor acknowledging pre-authorization to take it north at 835. Out.
Can you tell who's done that too many times this year? I
What,
can.
taking the train out too early?
No, that entire string of sentences.
Oh.
I've done it just a lot. The same phrasing over and over.
We didn't work as a team this year, did we? I didn't get you at all on this Christmas.
No, we did not. I never worked train 2. I was primarily train 1 and 3.
Which is ironic, because now you're train 2, and I never worked train 1, and I'm train 1 tonight. So there you go.
It is
I
pretty
didn't,
funny.
I didn't get one at all this year. I got welded to 3025. They took out the welder and they welded my butt to 3025 starting in mid-November, and they grinded me off the Sunday before Christmas.
yes, to answer the question, yes, the rear car would have gotten hot chocolate by now. The big guy wears a white suit. You can't have hot chocolate and white in the same area.
I think the best part about this is all I'm imagining is the show as we're coming back into the station.
Yep. It's a little too real.
Here, I'll blow for the imaginary crossing.
And wave at all the cameras.
I'll put on my best grumpy face for the cameras.
Especially when they start flashing you with those very bright flashes.
Now this is another technically spring switch. Let's try and not grenade a spring switch. We'll be the good noodles. We're setting a good example on stream, everyone.
Oh, good grief.
Oh god, 5 is painfully slow.
Con 397. Everything all right over there?
Yeah, all good on 97. Just brakes it up a little bit faster than we thought we would.
Ah, Roger.
Again,
Yeah,
Conductor
George,
23025. I make that an on-time departure from Dillsboro. On-time arrival at the North Pole.
40, you're clear of the points.
Copy, Con. Engineer 325 out.
Yeah, and see, this will be the fun part where we go, train 1 and crew go to different channels and record it. But,
Yeah, we don't need to do that tonight.
no, it's...
I kind of like talking with everybody else, and
Yeah,
I'm usually not able to talk with the other crews.
On 397, just spotting it up for the D train.
You'll have to do the same thing, George. Pull past the station, shove back in, then run around.
Sounds good.
I
Con 397, we are all stopped with the brake set.
Yeah, Con 3. You have to take us back another, let's say, 8 cars to the switch, and we'll shove on in the station.
Okay, understood. Back we go.
so
Okay.
again, this is one of those moments in time where... And our fellow crew members can chime in on this, but there is one element of the crew that is currently in their crunch time, trying to meet part of the show requirement, while another member of the crew is kind of just waiting until our forward motion ends. It's hard to emulate that, both parts of it, because again, we have virtual passengers, but we don't have actual passengers that are delaying aspects of the show. You know, we want to be fair. We want to make sure everyone has a good time, enjoys themselves, gets to take pictures with our special guests.
1 car 97.
1 to go.
It's
Yeah, you
just
clear
one
the
of those
points anyway
things
there.
where timing.
Okay, coming to a stop.
We have to work as a team to get this to work, so that the train and the show runs on time.
All right, 97. Platform is clear. You're clear for 10 cars at this point. You're clear to your stop. Put your cab in the middle of the station platform, please.
Casey, what's
Okay, coming ahead 97, good for 10, spotting it up.
what's going through the engineer head during this part of the trip?
Right now, I'm doing a lot of math all night. Steam's different than running diesel. Passenger's different than running freight. I don't have a speedometer right now on any steam engine I've worked on. Heck, yeah, 142 had one. Only one of the handful of engines I've worked on has had a speedometer. So right now I'm in math crunch time. I know I need to be at mile 54 here at 47. I've got about 10 minutes to get there.
Oh, I just don't do that.
I'm halfway to mile 53, so I need to be 5 minutes from there to there and 5 minutes from there to there. So I'm doing that mental math and checking on that. This is all a slight downgrade. On the valley,
4 cars, 97.
4 to go.
we have a couple of hills to contend with. So I'm thinking about like, all right, you need to ease off the throttle here, and again, you know, use that stuff. Use your physical characteristics, which you don't really get in a game to help you out on. Use your physical characteristics to help you out, to slow you down going over that crest of that little grade, so that way as you drop back down, you're not instantly speeding. You speed up gradual as you come into
1
them.
car.
It's roller coaster.
1.
So I'm just thinking about getting in on time, and I'm thinking about like, okay,
Anyway,
If
there,
I-
97.
Stop at 97.
the place that we frequently leave late is the North Pole, going north. So a lot of the times it's that mental math of like, okay, timetable here is for track speed here is 20. I can do 20. Timetable speed, which is different than track speed, it's timetable speed is 15.
Back up 97.
97 coming back.
So there's 2 minutes to make up there. So it's okay, how do I make up those 2 minutes? Where do I make up those 2 minutes? If I do a 3-minute mile here, how does that do to put me back on time? This is one of the things where I think I'm going to come in just a little bit early, and I'm trying to judge without the cues of like my butt. Because we talk about seat feel, but seat feel's a real thing. You get a lot from how the engine's moving over the tracks, conveys a lot to you about what's actually happening. Almost as much as a speedometer does, almost as much as your brake gauges do. You get a lot of tactileness to what's going on. Okay, so I think I'm on a better time. So I'm just doing mental math, and I'm running that a little bit in my head now. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. I've got 6 minutes to get there and a mile to go. So that's slightly less than 15 miles an hour. That gives me enough time to do 15 almost all the way down, almost all the way there, and then take a set and decelerate. So I'm good. I'm doing decent on time right now. That's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. And outside of this, maybe when we did the passenger train stream, Nick, and we were trying to keep to the timetable that we created, I think that's probably the last time I've thought about that kind of math while playing a video game. I don't know if any of you guys out there playing run timetables and stuff like that, and if you've thought about that, or with the new timetable feature that's out, have thought about that kind of stuff. I'm curious to know, but this is the mental math portion. Everything north of Deep River and shoving back. That's where I'm doing all my math. Plus, I know that the show needs to happen, and we're written times for the show to do things. But I also need to keep the timetable. So it's trying to strike that balance.
Meanwhile, inside the cars, the train crew is dealing with a lot of different factors as well. You know, we're dealing with, is our locomotive engineer getting to a spot early, or are they getting to a spot late? I mean, it's not a pointed blaming question, it's a reality of it. Are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule? Or are we not going to our furthest point to help make up time because we're following the time schedule? That adjusts what's happening inside the cars, and can either be a blessing or a burden for the train crew, especially when you're talking about fully loaded train cars. We have a 7-car train. It's a fully loaded passenger train. I mean, at the end of the year, I believe the railroad did around anywhere between 82 to 85,000 people across 4 train sets, running 9 trains on a weekday and 13 trains on a weekend. It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. That's you know, I can't think of the last time I've had that in a train game. Of all the maybe some of the early MSTS scenarios where they had you running on timetables on the Northeast Corridor or something. there was this Swiss route, Nick. I don't know if you remember that one. That had you
Innsbruck
running
to
past.
St. Anton. Yep.
Yeah,
The,
that
the
one.
Austrian one. I used to play the snot out of that.
There was a level in Trains with a Z, Train Simulator. It was I think I forget exactly what it was. It was an Australian layout, and they had a mixed train. And trying to run that railroad to the speed limits, to the schedule, I never got full points in the game because I was always late and always getting minus points because I was trying to constantly engineer the train, get it to speed, but back it off. Didn't always work.
Yeah, Con 397. Set them up, Class 2, please.
Yeah, send them up.
Yeah, application received. Release.
Releasing.
Yeah, good brakes.
Good. Brake test 97. I'm out of the seat for a minute.
By the way, just to the crews running 3 minutes out is at that little level crossing outside of Barker's.
Gotcha.
Chris, going back to your point you were talking about earlier, sitting in Dillsboro was the longest 30 minutes I've ever had on a pseudo valley line. In reality, you are correct. It is more like 2 minutes with your hands not doing something.
Right?
Like that. Was that the longest feeling you've ever felt?
It was. I sat back in my chair like, wow, I have nothing to do. You know, usually I'm getting, since the conductor's at the head end of the platform, you're getting bombarded with passengers. You're getting bombarded by the office with status updates. You got your train crew you're worried about. In reality, it's just so much that, to the point of this, doesn't translate to a game.
It's
To add on to that, from the trainman's perspective on the back end of the platform, you don't have all those people hounding you, but you also have to set up the markers, do the Class 2 brake tests, go through the train. It's a lot less time that you have to just stand around and do nothing versus this, where you're sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
Runners for Car G, runners!
PTSD.
It's spoiler alert for the TLDR at the end, but it's very much a people make a railroad, and without people, whether that's passengers, more crew, station agent, ticket agents, freight agents, dispatchers, without all of that, you've distilled everything that slows you down and have removed that.
So now
3025 to NP4. We are 3 minutes out from Barker's.
902,
Over.
0902, responding to 3025. Switches line for you at the North Pole.
Thank you, 0902. 3025 out.
Conductor
you
2,
guys,
Roger, count 2 out.
hey, good, I see the air wiggle there, 40.
Yep. 40. So I don't have a conductor's valve back here. That's another thing I don't see in the game here. We have basically a brake valve. 40 clear go south.
I'm trying. Well, east, but you know.
Yeah. Normally there's a whistle, a dump valve, a brake valve, and a headlight. That doesn't translate into the game at all.
Mm-mm.
So I have one of those things, and that's my little hand lantern, but that's about it. And to simulate the brake test, I just kind of opened the angle cock a little bit. She saw the brake go down, brakes come back up. And now we do the long shove move back.
The slowest 10 miles an hour ever. And if you guys want to get a feel for everything we're talking about, and sorry, let me just give you our time back at Barker's is 7:05 for those following along at home. Yeah, 7:05. Sorry, I was doing that mental math in my head. So I've got about 15 minutes to shove to get there. And thankfully, there's just a little grade for me to work against the whole way there. And we'll see how good we do and hit that mark. And remember, I want to be here at mile 52 at 7 o'clock even.
Yeah, 5 minutes before.
So I'll try that. But going to the point of everything feeling, like your wait times feeling so slow, go to YouTube, Essex North Pole Express, Essex Steam Train and Riverboat, Essex Valley Railroad, any of those, Connecticut Valley Railroad, any of those, YouTube those, sort by date, and look at any of the Christmas stuff. And look at how much faster everything looks when it's moving. Compared to, you know, I'm just going to hop out of the cab here and phone here at a ferry.
So, conductor 1 to engine 40, we have dancing lights, candy cane, and green lollipop. Take us out.
Lights, gates, go, shove, more.
Woo. 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 Woo.
I don't know if I got enough enthusiasm out of that. That seemed like a half-hearted woo.
Well, train 1 has a trolley whistle currently on its rear end. Trolley guys.
Yeah, we got the IRT shoving all the time. But look at the YouTube videos, check them out, and like, take a look at how they do, and look at how much faster everything looks and how much more hectic everything looks. Cause, oh, bad noodle. I gotta put my headlight to dim since we're shoving. Everything is just a lot more hectic, in Christmas Train Land, in Train Land. My throttle is off, by the way, cause not a lot of train games have a steam chest simulation. This is also the part where I eat lunch, is doing this, or dinner, is this part. Plus, shoving is the most boring thing to do that you need to do the least amount of stuff for. Can I? God, this feels so slow. Okay.
Yeah,
It's 52.
You're still clear.
Yeah, it's still clear.
Yeah, the topography of the valley line is a little bit more, I don't want to say chaotic, but it is more involved than
It's a
this
roller coaster
clear
grid.
in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone, there's a good image, and maybe I'll remember to post it in the VRA Discord after this. But there's a good image of the topography of the Murphy branch, and we are technically uphill through here. It is negligible, 0.1%, but we're technically uphill. It is completely uphill both directions out of Bryson. Versus I don't know, my part of the world in the Northeast, where even when you're running along a river, it's roller coaster grade. There's constant little variations in the grade that's going on, and you need to contend with all of that. Some of them are enough where, like, part of your train will be stretched, part of your train will be bunched as you're going down a bowl and coming back out the other side. And these are all things to think about and contend with. That, like, okay, part of the Murphy branch, you know, this is what we have to contend with here. Almost completely dead flat until we get to not Essex Street, and hit the 1.5%.
So for those following us at home, the rear end of our train has just gone 1 mile.
Oh my God, we're right on time. JJ, 0.1% might be enough to get something to roll if it was sitting without brakes applied. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. And for those of you who have looked on Google Maps to see where we are, right now we've just crossed the equivalent of Dock Road on Google Maps in Chester.
For those of you also in the VRA Discord, I posted a link to a YouTube video. 25 minutes in, you can hear the trolley backup whistle.
Best one on the Valley line.
Very loud whistle.
I like it.
It actually fits with what we do, and it doesn't destroy your ears.
I'm partial to the 2 chime that's on the back of train 2.
That's fair.
But that's also because that's the one that we've been using for the last 2 years on regular coach trains. But anyways.
This is... And one thing I do when I'm running, since we don't have speedometers, is I look off, not next to you, because everything feels fast next to you, but beyond you. Like about there where those trees are. And trying to get a judgment of your speed. And does it... Learning what 20 miles an hour looks like, what 10 miles an hour looks like, what 15 miles an hour looks like, what walking speed looks like, and trying to match to that. So that's what we're trying to do, is I'm trying to match to, does that look like 10 miles an hour? And is it maybe like a depth perception thing? Is it that river is floating there? We're going to ignore that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know. You don't get that judge your speed as you're going feel playing a video game. Never have. I feel that way in D-Rail Valley. I felt that way in RO. I feel that way in Railroader. Probably felt that way in MSTS. It's been so long since I've played that. Maybe.
Open Rails.
It's been so long since I played Open Rails. Nick, the last time I played Open Rails, we were on 2-footers. And 25 miles an hour sounded like 60.
Well, yes.
GJ2078, there is no such thing as dumb questions. We are a single track mainline, that's what we're simulating. The nearest part where 2 trains could pass each other is what we're backing up to. So that's why we're shoving for 3+ miles.
And long shoves happen on the main line. We had a freight customer down in Jersey where it was they were a facing point switch, and the nearest runaround was 5 miles away, and it was a rock quarry. So you took your cars, you ran around them, you shoved for 5 miles. Sometimes it's just what you have to do out in the real world. And 40 years ago, would that have been a flying switch? Yeah, probably. It's probably how they would have handled that. But this day and age, you got to shove around and run. Spinner Tornado, yes. Thomas Valley doesn't exist. The tracks ended right there at 54, so we have to shove back. So now we're about a minute out from where I want to be here. And we probably got quarter mile to go. Can you see that milepost yet back there?
Negative. We're still on the curve.
Okay. So, we're just gonna keep rocking what we're rocking and ride it out and see how we do on time. I'm probably gonna hit my mark a little bit later than I want to, but let's see how we do. That's the challenge.
You're cleared to the non-existent bridge.
I'm clear to a non-existent bridge.
Or as one of our conductors used to say, you're clear past the Hellgate and clear to Horseshoe.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the huge L. Cox Bridge.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Guy's got the best name in the world. So for those of you who we've kind of thrown into, and sorry, conductors for 2 and 3, you guys don't count here. For those who've just been thrown into Valley's Christmas with a very brief job description of how this all works beforehand. How are you feeling about keeping the time, first of all?
Oh 0902 to 97.
Oh, things are happening.
Oh 0902 calling 97.
The ghost train.
97 conductor, you there?
Con 3.
We're 3 minutes out. Hillsboro.
Roger. 3 minutes out. Con 397, you understand?
I don't think they do.
Is George here?
Now, time for one of my best parts. Your attention, please. The train will soon be entering Dillsboro Station.
Stop.
Conductor 2 to Conductor 1.
Conductor 1, go ahead.
Yes, Conductor 1, you are clear all the way to the stop. The special guests are in hiding. The switch is thrown for the, I guess in this case, the hole. And the street is protected. You're clear all the way in.
Understood, Conductor 2. Conductor 1 to 40, you can pick up the pace. We got a green target, and the crossing is protected.
And to answer your earlier question, Casey, it's interesting. I've been thrown in the deep end. It's definitely hard to keep track of, not overrun the schedule and get there way early.
Do you see why I didn't talk when you came for your cab ride?
Yup.
It's very much a game of mental math. Okay, what is doing that today?
Just got dark.
So Casey, are we allowed to talk about what happened when I tried to get a cab ride?
It was incredibly busy, and unfortunately, you couldn't get one that night.
Yes. It
Let's-
made me sad.
Next year, Nick. We will plan it a little bit more in advance.
Sounds good.
On 397 heading, I'm back with you. I'm all set to go whenever we
Welcome
our,
back, 97. Once the clock hits, what time is that? 7:05. You could take it north, on time departure, considering the diesel's there.
very
Please
good.
make your arrival to the South Switch, 719 North Pole.
Understood. Over.
All aboard! All aboard! All aboard! All aboard!
All aboard, Rob.
I just gotta say, 9:02, perfect timing coming back in here. I just gotta compliment you on that. That's perfect timing.
Thank you.
I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I will say this: all of our We did not have to annul a single train this season. We ran 344 of them. We had some mechanical issues crop up, and we had to play a couple of days completely by ear. But god damn it if we didn't get through it in the most impressive way, and I'm proud of us. I'm sure management is proud of us. I'm sure the crews are proud of each other.
Conductor 1 to 40, we are about to hit the crossing.
You train 1 guys are okay. You guys on train 1, you're okay.
97's on the move northbound.
Oh god, this is the stressful part. I know they just left. I have 15 minutes to get in, stop, pull ahead a little bit, and do a runaround. Because that's the fun part. Nick's train and my train are both too long to clear the foul points here. So we both have to move ahead 1 car.
8 cars, 40. I
30-25, when they clear, take us north.
I really hope that came over the microphone. I don't think it did, but I did play the trolley backup whistle.
Oh my god.
Oh god, count cars. 4 cars. Two.
I'm clear of you,
1.
Nick.
And 40 anywhere in there.
Thank you there, 40.
Have a safe trip.
40, you are clear to reposition once 3025 gets out of down.
Sorry, I had to get the mirrored foamer shot from the cut for the thumbnail.
90297.
Well, that's the 2 best locomotives out on the line right there.
Con 3, 902. You calling us?
Oh, 97 was calling 902,
Never mind.
but 902's not answering me.
Oh, 902, go ahead.
South End switch Dillsboro's line back to the normal. You're okay to make your moves.
Thank you, 97.
What's missing here from this positioning move that we're doing in game is that 40 is currently sitting on a crossing.
Oh, here, let me draw the train down. That's another thing. Do you know how long it takes to just leave your engine in lap or in apply and bleed off the air on a 6 brake without putting it in emergency? It takes so much time. And this is actually a fun move that happens in real life when we do these runarounds. Like, you watch the other train going through the cut and going around the curve as you're, like, chasing them to do your runaround. But it's 4 minutes to bleed down a train just leaving the train in service. Which is another thing that eats up time.
Here's another aspect of the game that it doesn't do, which is kind of sad, but hand signals.
God, give me a game that has, like, hand signals with, like, middle mouse button avatar things.
Well, even if it's like a center wheel scroll or something that you could click and it'll do the animation. Because right now I'm at the rear end of our train, and
I see you jumping 3 times for backup.
yeah, to stay off the radio because there's so much radio traffic. I do a hand signal to say you're clear around the back of our train.
Why does this 10 feel... Maybe it's because I'm passing something. This 10 feels faster right now.
Oh,
It's costing
when,
passing something.
when two trains are passing each other, you feel like you're going a million miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's another thing is in video games is you don't get the depth of field as it is in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Something looks like a mile away in a video game, and then you're leaning out the window in the real life, and it's just like, touch that if I wanted to.
That's another thing. Close clearances. There's a lot of them, especially on our line. Between switch stands, passing of trains, buildings and fences in different areas, there's no danger aspect of things in the railroading games. One of our train masters and one of our oldest employees says, we are the softest thing on the railroad. If
That's a
things
fact.
if things get squished together, we are going to be the thing that gets hurt the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was hanging out with my friend Bupkus, playing Railroader last night, and he was riding a car in as we were coming up against a loading dock for one of the West Bryson Industries, and I was like, hey, like, you got a close clearance there, and like popped into like 2 camera, and it was like his ass would have been literally shaved off by the stanchions if this was real life.
Ooh.
And it's not a video game thing.
Okay, see, that's far for a safety stop, but I wish I could show my camera because that feels
Hang on, I got
super far.
that is super far. You could have stopped me much closer, but it's fine. It works.
Okay. Undo coupler. Undo this. 20 feet to the hitch.
I actually can't hit this gentle because then they don't grab and railroader.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here, let's stretch.
Stretch them.
You can't just bump back and drop the pin. You gotta hit it.
It just hit it harder.
Casey, we didn't get a good stretch. Back it up.
Oh motherfucker!
The knuckles went. All right,
Language.
go ahead. Good hitch, stretch. Clear.
There you go. Go in.
Okay, we're tied in.
There we go, Prince. Now we're power breaking. There we go.
let's
Thinner
see, I'm on-
Tornado says, this sort of thing reminds me of a Larka branch on my save. We have all the diesel mods and modern rolling stock mods, so we run prototypically to a class 2 in the mid to late 70s. The Alarka branch is a separate railroad doing a lot of heritage and tourist operations with a few steamers. They still serve the industries on their line and interchange with us. So they have a 44 tonner, though it does not often get too heavy, so it's common to see their southern H4s on the freights.
Very cool. I love hearing how other people are running their railroads.
40 break application for a class 2 and release. That is way too quick.
Ninja Cat is saying that the passengers in car 8 got thrown around a bit there and that hot chocolate was in fact spilled.
Oh, damn.
There are paper towels in the overhead rack, and that's why we tell people to remain seated.
Look, my conductor
40.
said hit it harder.
Yeah, it's true. Bump it. 40. Stand by for non-existent backup valve test.
Hey, my air's going away. My air has not come back yet. And now my air comes back. I'd look at my brake gauges, but apparently there's none on this model.
Oh, well, I was also
That's
trying
cute.
to simulate me accidentally pulling the air too much and dumping the train.
Wonderful. No, it doesn't
Chris,
do
can
that.
you recite the hot chocolate pledge?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I
I'm
do
normal-
solemnly swear that I will hold the hot chocolate with both hands.
I'm normally not in the cars when they're doing that.
No, neither am I. I hear it like once or twice I want to say every day or so. And I'm just like, what am I listening to? Because I'm so not used to it. And I'm just sitting there listening to this pledge and I'm like, what?
You know what, Casey? Let's do the funny.
What?
I'm gonna go flag.
I promise I won't leave you behind. Who do we have a meet
That
with?
almost happened to me one night.
I did that to Chris one night.
One night when I was the NP1 trainman, like I was every single night. We had a newer conductor on, and the station master told him, "Yeah, you can go." He asked, "Is there any reason I have to wait?" And he goes, "Nah, you can go." So I'm sitting there flagging the crossing for 97, and all of a sudden, I see my train start to leave, and I'm like, "Great." So I tell them to stop. I flag the train in, and then I get on board.
Well, I'll tell my point of view, and then Chris can share his. I was told I was authorized by the conductor to depart once the incoming train's markers cleared the foul mark. And I was like, huh, that seems weird, but okay. And as soon as train 4's markers cleared, short 4-car train. Sorry, I need to yeet the cat off of my computer screen. As soon as they cleared, I whistled off and started going. And I moved, I swear I moved less than 20 feet. Chris, I think I heard 97's whistle. I swear I moved 20 feet, and then stopped, and waited for Chris to call on board.
My point of view from the story, I heard the same call that Casey heard. To be completely honest, was thinking about the 3 things I needed to get done, so wasn't really paying attention because it was aimed at the locomotive. So I was focused in on what I needed to do to safely protect the crossing that doesn't exist in this game and allow the train to pass by. If you guys watch the real video of why we do this, you will see why.
97, 40.
Hey, 40 in her, hey 97, 40 in her train, in the clear on the main at the pole. Switches line for you are on the platform.
Roger, you guys are clearing the pole and switches line for us in the platform. We are just shy of 3 minutes out.
See you soon.
I am standing at the crossing. I hear the diesel locomotive whistling for the station stop, and I can't move until the diesel has occupied the crossing. I hear the steam engine whistle off. I see the cars start to move, and I start thinking in my head, how fast do I need to run?
And I only moved 20 feet. I realized.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Our conductor realized the mistake and, unfortunately, on Casey's behalf, gave her hell for the rest of the night.
It was, you are pre-authorized to depart as soon as train 4's markers clear fell point, and our trainman lets us know that they are on board. Yeah.
Engineer 3025, con 3025. Are we good for a shove move back? Over.
3025, take it south. Clear 20.
Thank you, con 3025. Out.
AC, be proud I'm power braking like a mother right now.
Just to make the time.
Yeah, very much. I'm just eating up time at this point. I've dragged the minimum for like 3 miles.
Not getting somewhere early is the hardest part.
It's so true.
On time is easy, late is easy. Not being early is hard.
Trainman 1 to the 97. You are clear around the ass end of train 1.
97 is clear around the rear of 1. Thank you, sir.
Chris, you want to cringe?
Sure.
Conductor 3 to engine 97. 4 cars to a stop. Force.
Or to a stop 97.
Are you gonna have an aneurysm?
3 cars
But,
now,
like-
97. 3.
Sorry.
It's a good impression, though.
It is. With love, though.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
with
gonna
all
wait
the
and-
love in the world. 2 cars, 97. 2.
Oh.
At this point, I hope my fire boy has their fire ready.
40. Good. Trainman on board.
1 car now. 1.
I almost
One more.
instinctively went 30-25 on board.
We've done this too many times together.
And anywhere there, 97. That's fine. That's fine.
Stops at center 97.
This reminds me of
Do
a
a running brake
character.
test.
This reminds me of a voice from Lionel Train Town.
Now that's a fender bender.
Not that voice. Different voice.
Oh, the general guy.
Yes. Retrieve the parts they need to fix their ship.
Yep.
Time is counting down. Catch as many of our bovine cosmonauts as possible. Booyah!
You had
Conductor
like a
397. Back us up. 2 cars.
97 coming back. A pair, deuce.
Conductor 2, 30-25. Clear another 20 south.
Okay, so we
Engineer
just left at
3025 acknowledges the conductor. 3025 out.
we
Oh
left
God,
at
it's like
20. I need to be here at
1 car, 97.
One more.
7:33. 7:30.
That's good there, 97.
7:33.
Stopping.
Now 97, you have pre-permission. Once train... What is coming at us? I'm usually on train 1.
2. Train 2.
Two.
Once train 2, if path markers are in the clear, you can take us north to milepost 54.
Okay, once 2's markers are clear, okay to proceed northward to milepost 54 and the pole. Oh, actually, no, we're at the pole right now, aren't we?
No.
Yes, sir.
No. Markers is
Yes.
the pole.
Barker's is the pole.
Oh, Barker's is the pole.
Trainman
You go
1 to
north
engine
of North
40.
Pole.
Conductor 1. North Pole, South Switch, line 6.
Hang on, I gotta do this like I do actually. Put the microphone all the way over there. Hopefully this picks up. 40 clear, pole southwest, spring back.
And now
I usually just shout unintelligible words into the microphone because at this point, I am like, I've got to do exactly 3-minute miles to make it there on time. And that's and I'm facing the throttle. I reach behind me to hit the microphone, and I just shout as loud as possible.
at this point now, at least for my train, the crew is pretty much done until we get back to the station. This is normally the part where, because the trainman and the conductor are walking in opposite directions to reset themselves at the other ends of each of the trains, and we're just flat out like, all right, one's down, next train. How did everything go? Good, good, okay, good. We have 2 more trains to go. Meanwhile, Casey and the firemen are...
Fireman's bailing coal. I got the throttle out. One thing that, and this is another thing that doesn't transmit, is running tender first. Kind of terrifying. I know it's a thing. I see it a lot in the Railroader Discord where people are like, I don't want to run tender first from here to here. And like, railroads did it a lot. We've talked about this in the a branch line stream with Rick over the summer, where like the Valley back in the New Haven days had a 10-mile, no, a 13-mile, a 14-mile tender
Like a
first
14
move.
miles. Yeah. They would run, if you want to look at the map, it would run from Middletown to Hartford, tender first.
So yeah, it's a lot of tender first moves. But going tender first at 20 miles an hour, your tender is rocking back and forth like crazy, bouncing side to side. And you're looking at that and you're like, that's gonna fall off the rails. But knowing like it's perfectly safe. It is a terrifying aspect of doing this. And that doesn't transmit. Like you, T5, you were there with me. Like you saw how 3025's tender hunts side to side like that. It's worse than any SW unit I've ever seen.
Indeed, it was incredibly bouncy.
And as your water level gets lower, like we're experiencing right now, where we're down to a quarter of a tank, you know, that'd be rocking back and forth even more.
Especially when you're running low on coal.
Mm-hmm. So these are, you know, you don't see that kind of stuff.
By the way, Conductor 1 to Engine 40 authorized regular speed back to Hillsborough Station.
Roger that, reindeer.
Well, I mean, the tender on 7470 rode a hell of a lot better than the locomotive itself.
Well, that's an 060. That doesn't count.
Is 40 just sitting on arch bar trucks?
Yeah, 40's tender is on arch bars.
Something else that came to mind is I don't know if it's I guess, properly emulated in games is taking a train's slack action into account, especially when spotting.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things we do, especially with Train 2 at Essex, is when we spot that train at night, I have to, as the engineer, you have to bunch the slack and shove against the brakes to put the car body exactly at the foul marker with an inch to spare, otherwise the train physically doesn't fit when we tie onto the head end in the morning. So that's another one of those, like, you don't think about foul markers. I know it's the running gag we have here. Is, you know, are you atom clear? Is it actually, are you actually in the clear, or is it atom clear? And that's kind of the running gag we have going. But like, you don't really have to think about foul markers in a video game.
It is a very real thing, and it is nerve-wracking at times when you're sitting there looking at these two trains passing each other, and there is 6 to 10 inches separation of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a customer ask me once to respot a car an inch and a half. And I said, sir, do you understand what this business means?
Also,
Sir, there is this product I'd like to introduce you to. It's called the car mover.
Well, the funny part is too. So this was a strange customer for us because this is actually a power plant that we serve, and they take, during the wintertime, they burn bunker C oil. So we bring them loaded trains of bunker C in 30 car. It's 2 sets of 15. They're like the big GATX tank trains with the interconnected cars. We bring them a pair of them full of bunker C, and the way they spot the cars, and it's literally not even to hook their hoses up because they unload it from each end. But I guess they hook up like a heater to the cars to keep because it's all outside. But the heater goes in the middle of the 2 strings. But they have orange lines painted on one side of the car, so you have to go in the right way, otherwise it'll be backwards. They have orange lines that are 3 inches wide apiece, and they have to be exactly on the marks on the floor, otherwise they want you to respot them.
Oh my god.
It's infuriating.
Spotting a tanker is the worst thing I've ever done.
And it sloshes.
Yeah, that's why it's the I had a friend get booted off of the tank car when he first started working for the big railroad, on a slosh. He was riding the car and just they stopped, gentle stopped, and it was still enough of a slosh that he got booted off of it.
Yikes.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, Bunker C shouldn't slosh. That's a pretty thick oil.
No, this
Well,
is,
when you get-
this is
when
olive
you get to-
oil or
when-
something weird.
Yeah, the bunker seat doesn't slosh, but tank cars, as a general rule, they do, right? So
I'm reading in the comments online here that there are passengers in car 6 that are slamming the eggnog. See, that would be something that the train crew would have to take care of because that would be a coach car, and you're not allowed to have adult drinks in those cars.
ruh-roh.
Busted.
So that would be something that train crew of a certain level, trainman or conductor, would have to go handle and kindly ask those folks to put that away. Biggest pet peeve of mine is why come to the Christmas train? It's an hour-and-a-half Christmas train. If you can't be hammered to have fun with your kids, why do you spend the money and time to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, right now in the real world, as the conductor, I'm on the shelf. I'm planted in place. My trainman is going to have to deal with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Break. Conductor 1 to Essex Base. We are 2 minutes out.
Roger.
Base copy.
325.97 over.
Conductor 2 to Conductor 3.
Conductor 3.
We clear to come in.
Break, Conductor 3 to Character Manager 3. How we doing? Oh, the clauses are on their last family. All right, break, Conductor 3 to Conductor 2. You're clear all the way into your stop.
Roger, all the way. Break. Con 2, 3025. Keep the pace. Clear, 10 cars.
Roger that, engineer 3025 copy, 10 cars out.
Wow, that's you guys are actually on a really good pace there. It's if you're running your timetable stuff and like your railroader saves, if you're trying to do timetable and train order, try and keep to arrival times, and see how well you can do. Like it's harder to meet a time than it is to just be like, I'll get there whenever. There's a lot of fun skill with it. And, even tonight, doing this, I'm kind of enjoying the mental math. Though if I need to think about Christmas before July, I may vomit. So
This is the grand finale. This is the end.
yes, the end of Christmas. Not the end of
3025. Clear to the
Christmas,
stop.
but you know,
Conductor 3 to Conductor 2. Con 2, stand up.
Thanks.
4902.
902, 40.
Yeah, how we looking?
Looking good. Switches aligned, you're clear in.
Copy that. See you in a couple minutes here.
See you in a couple minutes. Out.
And holy shnikey, we might actually do this.
Were you getting a little worried there?
You never know with these things. You never know.
Trainmaster's sitting at the base, looking at the pocket watch.
Train 4, train 1 is inbound. You guys ready?
We're ready. Only had to eject one Karen, so we're doing good.
This is the part where I'm told to slow down a little bit.
Yardmaster to 40. Dog it.
By the end of the season, I got a little bit too good at making that time there. That Yardmaster tended to panic a little bit, and always be like, "Hey, dog it for us."
Con 397, take us north.
it also got to the point where if we
97
left
con
on
3, we're not due to leave for another 45 seconds.
And this is
Yeah,
why you
Conductor
check your
3, you
watch.
should. Yeah, Conductor 3, you should know that.
I engineered
Oh, Conductor 2, you're early.
engine 3025 to. Oh, you're good. You got it.
Way ahead of you.
Conductor 3. No, we're not. Check your watch.
You're 10 seconds off. Check your watch.
That was a funny day. That was funny.
Here we go.
Holy crap.
Do, do, do,
I can't believe we actually did that.
do.
I must say, wonderful friends here. We actually made this work. A lot better than I thought we would.
I mean, everything was in place for it. If it can work in real life, it should surely work in a game.
You would think so.
And normally, like, if we've been pretty good on time, but if we leave like 1 or 2 minutes late, that's normally made up.
Mm-hmm.
That's very easily made up. It's the okay, we're 5 down tonight, or at most I think we were 30 minutes late.
Oh yeah, the night of that thing. Yeah. You can get most of it back. As long if oh no, even my last day when we left 5 down, we got that back. But that was on the first trip of the night. You'd be surprised where you can make up time if everyone works together.
It's right.
le-
902
legally
to 40.
speaking. I know, too.
That's something that doesn't happen. I just fell off the. I just
West
fell off
End
the
switch is
train.
aligned for you.
Thank you.
One car for you.
One.
Nick, you were sabotaging my efforts to line you up.
Half a car for you.
Yeah, Conway, that was my fault.
Engineer 3025 to conductor 3025. We good to make our runaround move over?
Yeah, Roger, you can make your run.
Anywhere in there, 40. Points are good. Take us up the platform. Train 4 is departed. Oh, see, none of you guys would know this. Conductor 1 to Essex Space. Can I have an inbound train announcement? The train will soon be entering Hillsborough Station. Please stand behind the yellow safety line and do not attempt to board this train. Please wait for the official announcement over
Over this PA system.
Yeah, I ran 40 out of water. We've got 800 gallons left.
Well, good thing you got you got a little bit of time to actually throw a little water in.
I do, if we were making another turn, but sadly, once we get here, to spare everyone the 30-minute wait. This will
keys,
be the
dirt,
end.
dot. 40, you're
Never
clear.
to think about Christmas again.
40, you're clear to your mark, which in this case will be the water spigot.
Yeah, Roger.
Quick, have all the passengers grab buckets and run towards the nearest water supply.
Titfield Thunderbolt style.
Mm-hmm.
I made some very bad decisions when the DAPL announcement came out for the 1400s. I think between that and the 517s, I think I have 5 on order.
Oof.
It's been my favorite engine since I was a kid. The Titfield Thunderbolt's my favorite movie growing up. I have a problem.
I could spend your money on worse things, I guess.
Wait, so does that mean you got the Rapido?
Yeah, I have all the cars to go with it.
Perfect.
Roger, conductor in position. Trainman, let him off.
Gonna say you don't have a problem, you just have a lack of funding.
I even have the bus.
Well,
We're here.
we're here. What's our recap? What don't you get out of video games? You don't have people, thank God. You
The whole reason for hauling people is people, and yet you don't have them. Thank God.
you have a third the staff, thank God. It's harder to go slower than you'd think. Did I recap
You can't
that
feel it in your butt.
correctly?
Pretty
You can't
much.
feel it in your butt, and you don't have tactility. And
And
tenders
there's
don't
no
shake
depth
at a scary
perception.
amount. And
No
there's
depth perception to how close things are.
Yeah.
You don't have to pee in a cup.
That too.
Correct.
Which I
can
guess
violate
you could kind of
Rugi-
get with VR, but not really. That's a different conversation. But yeah, train games are fun. Train games feel like games. They don't feel like trains, and I think that's the most important part. That's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed this kind of a shit post about what I like to think, what I think is actually a really good topic. Because you know the age-old adage, especially if you grew up in the MSTS days, for someone to be like, I played MSTS, I know how to run a Steam engine. No, you don't.
No, the fuck you don't.
No, you don't.
Train games are good. They're great games. We love them. But they are games, and it's important to remember that. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed a look inside the Valley's Christmas operations. Hope everyone had a wonderful year this year. Hope everyone has a happy new year. Hope you're enjoying your holiday season. And we'll see you in January with whatever we decide we're going to do for January. We got to figure that out. We're enjoying the holidays a bit too much right now.
Can I make a reminder for General Rule C?
Sure.
General Rule C is defined by the CROR, because I'm from Canada and I'm silly. Rule C is when you're on or near tracks, expect to train anytime, any place, any direction.
Yep.
Yes.
See train, think train.
Yeah. See train, think train. Important to think
tracks,
about
train.
these, especially after these last few days. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. As
New Year.
always, from everyone here at the
Indeed.
VRA, thanks for joining in. I'm Professor Casey,
And I'm Professor Nick.
and thank you to guest Professor Chris for this wonderful, wonderful stream idea. We will see you all in the new year. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.